Hi, everyone. Today I have a cake for you. All right, so I have this piece of cake, and I want to talk about how big a wedding cake serving is, and honestly, a party cake serving too. People talk about party cake versus wedding cake. You don't need to cut cake bigger than this. And this is 1 inch this way by 2 inches this way by 4 inches, which is the height of the cake. All right, this is a large piece of cake. And if you're used to cutting cake in like an 8 inch cake in 4 pieces and eating a quarter of the cake, this won't seem big. But if you think about it, if you're at a wedding or a party, there's probably other food. People have been eating, they've been drinking. You don't need to give people a giant wedge of cake. And we kind of learned that lesson the hard way yesterday, which is why I have this cake. We had a friend over and we all made pizzas and we ate a lot of pizza and they were delicious. I'll put the recipe for that in the description. I also have the recipe for this cake. I'll put that in the description of the video too. But we tried to eat big wedges of cake after that, and we couldn't finish it. I could not finish the piece of cake that I cut for myself because I was cutting it in a wedge. This is how you should cut a cake. And I have a cake serving chart. I have a cake cutting chart. I mean, I have all of this on my website. So I'll put all the links in the description of this video. But if you're a bride and you're looking for how big is a wedding cake serving, you should plan on it being about this. People will not eat, like you're going to get only about 80% of the guests. You can plan for about 80% of the guests at your wedding eating cake because people will be dancing, they'll be drinking, they will have eaten a big dinner. Some people will leave right after the cake is cut. That's kind of the signal that you can leave. And depending on how late it is, some people will just leave without getting a piece of cake. Other people will eat 2 pieces. But the staff at venues are usually pretty good about deciding how big to cut the pieces because they will, I mean, this is the standard. But if you go to look at the article that I referenced about cake serving charts, there's a picture on there that shows how they cut the cake super, super thin. And I asked them a couple times, I said, how do you cut the cake? And they said, well, we just wait to see how many people are coming up to get cake. If there are a lot, we cut it smaller. If there aren't that many, we cut the pieces bigger so that the cake isn't sitting around not being eaten. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But when you're planning, don't plan, you don't need to buy 100% of the servings of cake for the number of guests that you have. First of all, you don't need that because not everybody has it, like I said. But this is how much cake you're going to get. So of an 8 inch cake, I probably could get about 24. I estimated 20 to 24. Some people say 26 to 30. It depends. But I took a ruler and actually measured this. So I'm not estimating it. I'm not eyeballing it. I actually measured this. This is the actual size of a piece of wedding cake as it should be. And there's no reason to cut bigger pieces. So like I said, if you're a bride, plan on about 80% of the number of guests for the number of cake servings that you need. If you want to save the top tier, don't include that in the serving count. And then, cut the cake like this. And if you're at a party at home, cut the cake like that because if people have had dinner beforehand, they're not going to be able to finish and they'll be sick and they'll feel really bloated like we did yesterday. But you know what? I haven't had breakfast yet, so I think that this might be it. All right. Leave me any questions and I will talk to you later.